Hey, this is shawnshawn. I want to give you a tip of the day, and that is about how to check your values in your painting. And so your paintings, the values in your painting are basically your light to dark. So if you look at this painting, the white is obviously the lightest color. You got this purple is a very dark color. This is a very dark color here. We have this is a very dark color. The green is a lot lighter. This is a kind of a pink, so that's very light. So an easy way to check that, if you're thinking, hey, is it too much in the midtones? Is it too much on the dark side? Is it too much on the light side? Is simply take a picture, and within your iPhone or your Android, inside your phone, whatever version you have, there is a version to switch the photo to black and white. Sometimes you have different variations. Like in my DSL, you can actually do a warm black and white, a mid-tone, and you can actually do a cool side. You can kind of check all three of those. But basically, I'll just always take black and white photos of your painting as you're painting and seeing, hey, do I need to add more white in here? Lighten up the painting? Do I want it more dark? And a good general rule of thumb to make kind of a good painting, maybe like 5% or less, close to that pure white. Like this probably has a little bit too much white. That probably should be toned down a little bit, and maybe just have some bright white highlights. Then probably 90% of that is going to be your mid-range, your gray range, so to say. So that would be this green. The pink is a good example. And the green, right? And this gray. So those is kind of a really good mid-tones, but it is quite dark in the middle section. So that kind of breaks the rule where you only want probably maybe 5% of that painting to be dark. You can't have a very dark painting, but you have to have some really strong highlights. Like say if you did a volcano with lightning and lava, and only the lava and the lightning would be kind of the focal points of light, and everything else would be pretty dark. In that case, you probably want to use an unrealistic sky, so to say. So use it lighter around the volcano to make the dark rock stand out against the background, so to say. Or if you're doing, say, a tornado and it's very dark out, you probably want to lighten out some of the, you might want to lighten it more than it is in the reality of the photo to make that kind of just read better. So you always want to keep that balance in mind, the 5% dark, 90% midtones, 5% very light, and that'll give you kind of a range. Now this does change over time. If you look back in history, there's segments where they paint almost all black background. I want to say Baroque period. And then you go to the other extreme where it's very light, like the Impressionists didn't like to use black. It was kind of mid-tone to light. So you definitely have a range of what kind of goes in and out of fashion. Right now I'd probably say, we're in that 95-5 zone. But it can change over time. There could be, like in the 70s, they did actually black and white paintings, a lot of gray paintings. You can see it in Richter's paintings. And that was probably just a feedback of the malaise of the economy going to crap. So the painters weren't too inspired, so they were selling kind of this gray, like black kind of painting, right? Same thing during the 40s. If you look at, say, Picasso's painting, it's very dark because, obviously he's living under the Nazi occupation. So there's kind of those themes and styles and stuff that goes through, but there's also the actual values. What is valuable for the public that sells well changes over time, so keep that in mind. But I would generally kind of use that 5-95 rule, and that's my tip of the day.